haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it.
Spoil it in your face.
That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault. Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo.
You know, I've never seen Total Recall.
Oh, I haven't seen Total Recall.
I haven't seen the remake or the original.
Man, I haven't seen it since I was like maybe like 8, and I didn't see the remake.
Yeah, the original has Arnold, right?
Yeah.
We might need to watch it. We should probably do like an Arnold month or something.
I'm done with that.
Yeah. We haven't done the original Predator before and stuff. Yeah, we should do an Arnold movie. And maybe even revisit Jiggle All the Way, which is low-key one of my favorite holiday movies.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. This is Eddie Collins.
Guys, Justin Brown.
And we are Media Popcorn spoiling movies. And we are spoiling the Star Wars, the Mandalorian and Grogu movie.
Mm-hmm.
And, just off the conversation of the top, when we're talking about anything but this movie, you can probably tell our enthusiasm about the Mandalorian and Grogu. The log line for this movie is the evil empire has fallen, but Imperial warlords remain scattered throughout the galaxy. As the fledgling New Republic works to protect everything the rebellion fought for, they enlist the help of legendary Mandalorian bounty hunter Din Djarin and his young apprentice Grogu. That sounds exactly like the plot of the show. But before we get into the plot of this movie, quote unquote, Justin, what were your thoughts on the Mandalorian and Grogu, especially as someone who has not watched the series?
Okay, so I think as someone who didn't watch the series and, really doesn't know much about the Mandalorian or any of this lore, I kind of thought this was fun. But I thought that this was fun because I'm not weighed down by all of this shit with the show. I got to just live in a moment and just enjoy this. But I also understand that a lot of people is just like, this is just like an episode of The Mandalorian, but just a little bit longer. Which, if I had that context, I would probably be a little bit, about it. But without that, I'm just like, all right, that was cool. So I guess they did a good job on just bringing in like a casual viewer, a casual Star Wars fan. Even though I wouldn't say I'm necessarily a casual Star. I just haven't seen The Mandalorian, or there was another thing
Ahsoka,
the
Acolyte, Andor.
Yeah, so like I hadn't.
You haven't seen any of the series. You're like,
yeah.
Have you seen any of the Star Wars series since the last movie?
No, I haven't tapped into any of those things. So like, I thought
Boba Fett's terrible.
Huh?
Boba Fett is so bad that like randomly, like episode 6, it's just a Mandalorian episode.
Oh,
yeah, man. Star Wars is, but I don't know what to think of the future now.
But that's the thing. Maybe it's just the fact is like they need to stop doing the fucking shows and then just keep on doing movies that anybody could just jump into, because the shows obviously, even if they work, they don't work on a larger scale, because it's too much shit. It's too much shit going on.
That's a good point. And I think not Kevin Feige, because this isn't fully his fault. The guy before Bob Iger came back in Disney, I'm blanking on his name, Bob Chapek, maybe. Dude, I think the Disney Plus series, despite like being relatively good to mediocre at best for Star Wars and Marvel, fucked up the brands. Like The Mandalorian, as good as it's been, like in like the first 2 seasons, season 3 is a little wonky. And whatchamacallit, Andor, from what I've heard, it's fantastic. It got a bunch of Emmy noms. And then in regards to Marvel, I mean, yes, like the WandaVision show was great. I personally really like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series.
I'm actually currently watching Wonder Man, which I think is great.
Yeah, so like but it's like a mixed bag, right? With all the shows. Like I like Miss Marvel a lot, but at the same time, like you said, it's too much. So by the time we're getting to like Marvel's Doomsday coming up, I feel like so many people that like could have kept up with like the movies at least, like there was enough time where you could binge like all the series, all the MCU within a week, maybe a week and a half, if you watch 2 movies a day or something, right?
Yeah.
Now you're at a point where you got to watch all these TV shows. Like I have to watch Daredevil, the Punisher, one-off and stuff, so I can be prepared for Spider-Man, whatever might happen in Spider-Man. And I'm like, damn, that's like almost 20 hours of TV.
Yeah, you know what? And I gotta say, I think that So I watched Daredevil. I will also watch Punisher. I think you could just sit down and
The
just
new
watch.
Daredevil is good.
Yeah,
Born Again's good.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've
Is it as
read.
good as the Netflix stuff?
What's up?
Is it as good as the Netflix stuff?
If I would say anything, I would say it's definitely close. It's
Okay.
on par. It's definitely on par. It's
Okay.
definitely on
That's good.
par. I mean, the shit that goes on in that, like, yeah, like it gets wild. So like
I heard the violence is pretty gnarly in it
yeah,
at times.
they're kind of turning it up closer to like the Netflix Daredevil, so which is great. So like I think that's good, even though I do think that he doesn't get as fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
As he did in the Netflix series.
I mean, that kind of makes sense though, because if you're like more seasoned, right, you should be a better fighter and be
Yeah,
better at defending yourself. Like it's like Batman, right? Like that's why we like the early iterations of Batman because we're like, oh, this ain't to get fucked up because he's making mistakes.
yeah.
Like,
Well, and actually, that's a pretty good pull, especially just the fact is that he's not making the dumb mistakes that he was doing
mhm,
before. He's just like, I'm just gonna go in there and I'm just gonna fight 20 people. It's like he's
yep.
being more tactful. So like all that makes absolute sense. But is it violent? Absolutely. I would say just a smidge under the Netflix violence, but it's still a great show. And like when motherfuckers are ready to risk it all, motherfuckers are ready. Like when there's something that happens
Yeah.
in this recent Daredevil where when it happens, you're gonna be like, oh shit, there's going to
Cool.
be hell to pay. And like,
No pun intended.
yeah, and things are going and then Punisher is exactly what you think it's gonna be. I think it was a perfect amount of time. I don't know if it was necessary as far as it's like, well, were we leading to the Punisher in the Spider-Man thing? But I think
Yeah.
it's a great in between to showing like after Daredevil, after the Daredevil series, last season, and then Spider Man. What the fuck has Punisher been doing? So, and then like
Mm,
you bring those two in together. I think I think that's what they were doing, and it's a perfect placeholder right now. So I'm like, I'm good with both of those things.
okay.
Honestly, I think Daredevil and fucking Daredevil is the crown jewel of Marvel TV right now.
Probably. I mean, I love Charlie Cox and um, Vincent D'Onofrio and their
Yeah.
respective roles and stuff. I definitely got to watch it. I also am like have done filming on the set and very nice crew. They work very very fast. Like I wasn't holding for how it is. I
Yeah.
wasn't holding for 5 hours. I was on set for 45 minutes and then we were wrapped. You know what I mean? Like they work fast. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. And I do like I know what holding is now, so I bring my computer, I bring a book and stuff. Like I like
Mhm.
use the time. Some people, just they spend it like networking, but they're just talking about all the stuff that they've done and
Yeah.
try to stun on people. And you're like, that's not networking. That's just you being insane. But okay, we can,
Funny.
we got to talk about this fucking movie.
I
We
recently
got
I
sorry.
recently did a little background because I was actually up for a main role, and then they're just like, hey, we want to bring you in. We got another guy, but can you come in as a backup? I'm like, yeah, that's totally
Mm,
fine. And so then basically, I just I did background instead, which listen, whatever. I'm still getting a paycheck, right?
yeah, yeah.
Um, but me and kind of like older actors talking to this one young guy, and like we tell him it's like, yeah, you think that way because you're a young actor and you're still new to this game. It's like at some point you are gonna settle down. You are not gonna care. And like it's almost like you could see you could see the youth just coming out of his eyes.
That's terrible.
It's not just one person. It's like, yeah, you don't know anything quite yet, and you're about to learn what this business really is. And like it wasn't a thing like like shitting on him or shitting on his career, but it's just like, yeah, this is bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? And but
Yeah,
I
you
think
better hope you
everybody,
don't blow up. Better hope you don't blow up on one of these HBO Amazon but backs like Amazon shows, and then he's doing an interview like, "I met this nigga named Justin Brown." He looks directly in the camera. Fuck you.
no, it wasn't like
That'd be
that. It's
hilarious.
just like putting people on game. You know what I'm saying? Like put
I
it
know,
on game.
but I know your intention. But what if that actually like was his interpretation? So he does that to you. You're like, "Oh no." He's like the next Timothy Chalamet. You're like, "Fuck." All right. All right, folks. We're going to talk about the Mandalorian Grogu. And the reason why we're doing it is because we have to on this pod.
Yeah, yeah,
Honestly, because Justin hasn't watched the series. What's funny is the lead up to the movie, right? Because Justin and I went to go see a press screening of this movie. So we saw like about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks before the movie came out. So I hadn't watched season 3 yet. Loved season 1. Season 2 is pretty good. And so I'm catching up on season 3 and I'm watching. I'm like, man, this is mad slow. Like, what's this plot? Like, what's the ultimate plot of this season? And it was fine, right? But I only had gotten this episode 5 out of 8 by the time the movie came around. Watched the movie with you, and I was like, oh, I don't need the only key thing I missed that like you see at the end of season 3 that leads into the movie is that Grogu has like kind of this Mandalorian shield thing. It's because he's made to be apprentice of Din Djarin as a Mandalorian. Basically, so this Grogu is eventually going to be like a Jedi / Mandalorian, which will be really interesting. But other than that, you didn't learn anything new about the characters. This didn't push the overall narrative forward at all. It ultimately did feel like a really big episode that just centers around the huts, which are supposed to be looking really cool. Man, the overuse of CGI. The weird thing about the movie, Justin, is I hadn't seen the last 2 episodes of season 3, which, mind you, are written predominantly by Jon Favreau. It's produced by Dave Filoni, who's now like the Kevin Feige of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And Jon Favreau directed this. I'm like, Tati and I were watching it. We're like, why is the last 2 episodes of the Mandalorian series, season 3, better and more exciting and more action-packed than the whole Mandalorian Grogu movie? And it looks better.
Yeah.
First of all, I think they should have gotten Bryce Dallas Howard to direct the movie because her episodes of The Mandalorian are pretty like probably the best ones, I would say. And 2, I was just like, oh, it felt like a money grab. After watching the movie, I was like, this felt like a money grab. It felt like no one, like Jeremy Allen White plays Rada the Hutt, and one of the most inconsistent like CGI performances I've seen in a long time. Not just this voice acting, but like the size of Rhoda or whatever just kept changing.
Yeah.
Like he's supposed to be a bodybuilder like Hutt, but did you notice that like it kept changing depending on the setting you saw him in? You're like, was he supposed to be huge or is he like medium-sized Hutt compared to his aunt and uncle and stuff who were trying to track him down?
Well, I know like he's younger. So it's just like, let's say he's like a young 20-something. So he's more muscular and built, and also like he's actually out there putting in work. When they say putting in work, he's fighting all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, but there were points I'm just like his overall size was just wasn't very consistent throughout the episode throughout the movie. So actually, I just thought of something. This could actually be a contract thing. This could just be something in Pedro Pascal's contract. It's like, hey, we have a movie for you. And then they also just had to get this in. So like they put this out. This is just to appease the contract because maybe they're contractually, held up. But, now with Pedro Pascal doing all the things that he's doing,
he's like Samuel L. Jackson. He said every fucking thing.
Exactly. This could just be like a contract, appeaser. So like, that's it.
And it's just voice acting for him. It's so funny because this role had to be like perfect for him because it's like he uses his voice predominantly. He's not the nigga in the suit. Yeah. And so he maybe has to be on set for a week to do the scenes where his helmet's off because the Mandalorians aren't supposed to take off their helmets because of religious reasons, right?
Yeah.
And so I love Pedro Pascal. I do think he's at risk of becoming way too overexposed. But the thing with Pedro is he's a good actor. He's charming as fuck, especially not just on camera, but like when he does like press interviews and stuff like that. And he's racially ambiguous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we know he's Spanish, but like if you were a white person in rural America and you just saw him in like a Fantastic Four, you'd be like, oh, that's interesting. His last name is Pascal. I wonder what that's about. You know what I mean? Like, so that's his situation. Real quick about the Rada. Oh, sorry.
No, I can just hear him now. It's just like, I just like the fact that the liberal media isn't just trying to shove another Hispanic down our throats. Look at this guy, Pedro Pascal.
I'm surprised, especially like folks from like the Midwest, how often we mispronounce things. Is that just rural people? Like my she's like my like sister through my godmother and stuff like that. Like I call her my sister. And she, when she came to New York one time, I think I might have shared this story in the podcast. She saw Dwayne Reed, and she's like, "What's Dwayne Reed?" I was like, "This shit ain't that fancy. Go inside. You'll realize it's not. It doesn't deserve a red day."
Dwayne Reed. So
Yo, that'd be the dopest CEO of all time. A nigga named Dwayne Rene. That'd
you,
be
you know
wild.
the funny thing about it is like, when I used to do the auto show, people would come up, especially either black people, eh, and they would. So I worked for Buick, and people was like, "Yeah, I like that new Burke." I'm like, "Where that R come from, nigga? Nigga, where the R come from? There's no R in Buick. Buick.
Some places they pronounce their C's like R's. That's
Yeah.
how that is the way.
Hold
According to
on.
Mandalore.
And my favorite thing, not saying R, you say aura. I don't know
Yes.
where that came from. Aura.
Aura. Yeah.
Oh, aura.
Yep. Okay. Real quick, some trivia in regards to the Rada fight. So when he fights the Djarik match, and like trying to get out his debt or something, that's how they find
Mhm.
Rada. Because they're tasked for finding Rada because his aunt and uncle are looking for him. There's these twin huts that look really creepy because the way they felt very incestuous, the way that they like are linked
Yeah.
up together and stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
we don't have to go down that road because I don't need to know about space incest, but that's
Mhm.
gross. And because the huts have vital information for the rebellion in regards to capturing people that are still like loyal to the Empire or the New Order, whatever it's called in the sequel trilogy and stuff. And so there's this big fight, and apparently it's the same as the holographic board match played in the Millennium Falcon in A New Hope. So if you
Mm.
look like it's the same creatures and stuff like that,
Oh, okay.
which is interesting. Yeah, it's like an interesting little Easter egg to the original.
Yeah.
But I think what frustrated me most about this movie, we talked about it after I saw it, because this is the first Star Wars film in 7 years, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, it felt like a really long episode, but like a placeholder, almost like if they want to do a summer adventure special or something of The Mandalorian versus like, I hate TV shows that did like film adaptations that changed nothing or didn't give you any new insight
Yeah.
into stuff. The ones that do it really well are the ones where you learn about a key character that you love and you learn something new, or maybe someone important dies, or maybe it's the end of the series and that's how they're wrapping up.
Yeah.
But yeah, this felt like when I saw, and I didn't have the same anticipation as I did for, like, I had way higher expectations for the other movie that I'm about to mention than this
Mm.
one. This one, I was like, this feels like it's gonna be a long episode. The Simpsons movie, I remember
Mm.
seeing it and being like, huh, that's the story you chose for the movie. Like, because it didn't really, like, it didn't push the narrative forward. And again, it's The Simpsons, so you can only
Yeah.
do so much because it's timeless, right? They don't age or anything like that.
Yep.
But I was like, like there's some funny jokes in it, but there wasn't anything like memorable that I quote on a regular basis. Like there's some Simpsons episodes where I quote weekly, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so I was like, just like, damn. Whereas with the Rugrats movie, you get a new kid. You get,
Yep.
like, it's literally about the birth of Dill, and all the Rugrats adjusting to having a brand new baby as part of their crew. And
Yeah.
spoiler, everybody, they do not like it. We should review the Rugrats movie, because the Rugrats movie, basically the exciting incident is the new baby Dill's born, and they try to get rid of this nigga. Like there's no more fantastical like situations and fantasies where they like
trying to kill
play pretend. Yeah, they like literally try. I think aren't they the ones that put him in the woods or some shit? Don't they leave him in the
I haven't
woods?
seen that movie in forever.
We gotta watch that movie, because I like Tati and I were talking. I'm like, yeah, they try to like, they don't try to kill Dill, but they definitely try to get him out the house.
Well, or I
They
could
actively try to get rid of a baby. That's all I remember.
But wasn't a thing like, somehow, they got into the woods and then they were just like, oh no,
Yeah,
we
'cause
messed up and now we have to get him.
Yeah, because there's that Reptar like machine or something like that. We should watch it, because like,
Yeah.
I remember like they're also being real stakes. I'm like, obviously they're not gonna kill a baby, but like the animation was a huge upgrade from the TV show.
Yeah.
They had added a brand new vital character, even though the show wasn't the same after that.
Yeah.
And there was like, it felt cinematic, right? Whereas
Yeah.
this, I was just kind of like, it literally, like, I felt it's less than most of the better episodes of The Mandalorian.
Mm.
And again, you don't learn anything new. We didn't learn anything about Grogu and the Yoda species, which is very little. There's very little literature about those creatures. You could you could go down a rabbit hole. It could have just been about them. Like,
Yeah.
he just wants to like see where he's from. Like, he's not going to leave. And maybe it is like, oh, do I leave Mandalorian because I found my tribe now? I finally found my people. Or do I stay with them? Like, that's a powerful emotional story, especially if it's going to be as slow and like cliched as this. Because the action sequences in The Mandalorian Grogu, like I said, they're the same kind of stuff. I watched the episode at the end of season 3 where I was like, That's a similar action sequence to the movie. Why would they do that? It's the same creative team. Why are you repeating sequences?
And spoiler alert, guys. There's a point where the Mandalorian gets fucked up, and Grogu's like kind of protecting him, and it's for I guess a few days, right?
That felt like some weeks. That felt like some invincible recovery time.
Yeah, yeah.
Which did you ever finish the last season?
Oh yeah. Oh no, I didn't. Oh no. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Okay,
Yes,
so
I
so
did.
you got to the conquest chest burst where Mark is basically healing for like it seems like months because he basically got his intestines pulled out of his body.
bro, bro.
Man, we
That
got to
nigga
talk
played,
about that on the
yeah,
podcast.
that
I got
nigga
like
played 0 games. He
you know
looked
I
like
brought
Freddie
that
Mercury.
oh Jesus. Yeah, Thrag might be one of my favorite villains ever, and I've only seen him in a few episodes.
Yeah.
Because when you have people that powerful shook, like when Mark asked his dad, he's like, "How we beat him?" And Omni Man's just like, "You don't even."
He's like, beat him.
Yeah, we can't even join him at this point
He's
because we
like,
pissed him off too much.
like this nigga was born for this.
Got Mark with PTSD and shit, seeing visions of Thrad just killing all of his loved ones. This show, it's so funny because Invincible, you watch it, you're like, the animation's like, meh. The voice acting's pretty good, but you're like, this shouldn't be as good as it is. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's so fucking awesome. Anyways, folks, clearly we want to talk about anything but this fucking boring movie.
Well, and that's the thing. Like you said, it's not necessarily overtly exciting. It's not overly exciting. I mean, because even like I was mentioning before, when the Mandalorian's fucked up and Guru's and the taking Grogu, sorry, Guru, Grogu's taking care of him. It's like that's a very slow sequence in this film, and it does
And also play
lull.
childish. It is also like when he's like using the force to put him under like this little not hut, but like
Cave that he
cave
created.
thing that he created and stuff. And it's just like back and forth. And like even in our screening when there were kids, like no one really laughed. And I was like,
Yeah.
tonally, this is kind of weird. Like, why this is so childish? Like
Yeah, I mean, it was just it really it was a lot slower than what I expected to be. And it's like, listen,
super slow.
it's fine for like, all right, a character is kind of out of commission. Like, I get what they were doing there, but there's a way to
How
do
did he
it.
get poisoned again?
What it was fighting that big ass fucking snake thing.
Oh
It's
yeah,
true. Yeah,
because
yeah,
his fang and stuff. Yeah,
yeah, and
which
and
that
that
was
poison.
terrible.
Yeah, I
For a
mean,
series that like was built on animatronics and shit like that, like they couldn't even make that cool. Go back to get the nigga from Anaconda, the technician who did that shit, and be like, hey, how do we make a somewhat realistic snake?
but again, the CGI.
I know because
CGI.
even to the scale, that snake shouldn't have been able to fit in that cave.
Whoa. Yes, that is true. Especially with the other things that they fought earlier.
Yeah.
And then the snake comes out. He's like, where was this fucking snake this entire time? Like, are those things a part of the snake's body? Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Also, like, yeah, I have if I go down that rabbit hole, I'm gonna have more questions that I'm gonna get answers for. But I mean, Grogu is the best thing about this movie, even though he doesn't speak. Which is like I thought Baby Grogu might speak in this movie. Maybe we might actually hear him say like some actual like an English word or something like right.
Hey, hold
Nothing.
on. Hold on. Can we go back to the snake really quick?
Yeah.
When they escaped from that area, why didn't the snake follow them?
I don't know, man. That snake should definitely be able to like fuck up that whole place.
Yeah.
It's being ran by huts. They can't move that fast. These aren't even the rich ones like Rhoda. Kill these niggas.
Yeah.
And that's what like
weird thing.
and that's what drives me crazy too about the inconsistency with the Hut animation because Jabba the Hutt in Return of the Jedi, folks were revisiting the Star Wars movie, so we'll be able to actually like give a full take on it. I remember just being massive, like to the point where I think he was immobile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like these huts are supposed to be huge. Like even if they are able to move around stuff, I'm like, they
Well,
felt so miniature.
Well,
No.
that is actually kind of retcon not to be the case when they do that scene of Han Solo speaking to the hut.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
Jabba the Hutt. So they kind of took that away.
I hate everything. I hate CGI, what it's done to this series. Yeah, because Grogu's animatronic. So like it is odd now because the CGI and like real human and stuff. but I still think he's adorable. I actually kind of wish the whole movie was about him. I think the whole movie should have been about him and like do a flip on like a John Wick where because initially the opening sequence and stuff and everyone's like kind of warning like Mandalorian like you can't protect him forever or like telling Grogu like the one thing I think this movie did well was it emphasized that at some point the Mandalorian's gonna die.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be there for Grogu because Grogu like based on the Yoda creatures they live for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Maybe like even longer than we even think about or like could imagine, right? And so it's gonna be like the Mandalorian's gonna die and Grogu's gonna be on his own. And so like, what is he gonna do with that? So at first I was like, oh shit, they're gonna basically do John Wick in space where Grogu gets taken and Mandalorian just goes ape shit.
Yeah.
Because like in season 3, he kind of like he only goes after bad guys, right? He only goes, he's only like doing like a bounty mercenary missions for people like that are still loyal to the Empire and stuff in New Order.
Mm.
I was like, oh, that'd be dope. But then I was like, oh, it'd be even more interesting if he gets taken and Grogu's finally like, instead of being like, I'm just like a self-taught Jedi guy.
Yeah.
I gotta go ham on motherfuckers to get my dad back.
Yeah.
And like, we don't even need him to talk. He could just be like, yeah, just like fucking up stormtroopers and shit. How cool would that have been? How fun would that have been?
Yeah.
Instead, we literally get Mandalorian gets incapacitated after Grogu and he get betrayed, turning in Rada to the Hutts and stuff like that. It turns out they didn't even need the information from the Hutts because they got the direct source dude for the Empire, who the Hutts had information on. So they literally like cut the Hutts out, but then the Hutts came for revenge. It was like so stupid. It wasn't even like, ooh, like the Hutt's gonna come, like someone's gonna get killed. No, because they're gonna definitely probably still do a season 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like those little creatures.
Season 4 has already been written, but it was just delayed due to the Hollywood labor disputes. So it's just like maybe that's another reason that this movie came about because like everything got delayed. It's like, hey, we're contracted with Pedro for something, so like, why don't we just get this movie off the ground? That's
definitely possible because like all you have to do is just increase the budget because it's a movie, even though you're doing the same shit you did in the TV show. So everyone makes more money. Again, I'm taking a very cynical take on this. But that could definitely be right.
But and again, it keeps him on the hook because depending on how the contract is worded, they may have had to do this to so shit doesn't get fucked up.
That's actually a really interesting point because obviously they're not going to be public with that. But Pedro's a big enough star now where I could see his people working that in, especially after Mandalorian season 1 blew up. They're like, all right, we got to protect you so you're not just fucking playing the Mandalorian for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like this very much sounds like a business decision.
Yeah, it's really frustrating, man. I know the next Star Wars movie, Starfighter, that stars Ryan Gosling. It's being directed by Sean Levy, who did Deadpool and Wolverine, stuff like that. And so I'm cautiously optimistic with that one. The only issue is I wonder if anyone's going to even have enthusiasm about Star Wars at that point. Star Wars brand has been so diluted with like the TV shows and that terrible, terrible Rise of Skywalker movie. Like because not only was that movie terrible, but then when John Boyega came out and was like, dude, the way that the fandom was and the way that they just handled our characters creatively that weren't like these white people, like just sucked. And even when you have Adam Driver being like, yeah, I don't know why they did these changes to Kylo Ren. I was really excited to play him like full bad. Yeah. They're like, I don't know why they did that. I guess they got scared. I'm like, Star Wars had balls. That's what was so intriguing. It was different. It was completely out there. Last Jedi, I know it has a mixed response, but I really like what they were trying to do with with Rey and like Kylo Ren. And he was like, yo, you're not part of the story. You're a nobody, but not to me. Let's run this shit together because we're powerful and we don't give a fuck about the Sith or the Jedi. Let's just do our own thing. And then like they were like, oh, sorry, forget everything that we just did in that one.
Yeah.
Were you with me when we saw Star Wars Episode 9? Did you come to that group when we watched it in Astoria?
I don't know. I
don't remember either. You might have been. I remember it was like me, Tati, my friend Mike, Jason was there, and I think you might have been there because I remember you all like a bunch of my friends were consoling me after that movie. There's been And it sucks because it's been within the past 10 years where
Mm.
I've literally put my head in my hands because I'm just like, what the fuck are we watching? It's been episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. It was Jurassic World,
Scream.
Fallen Kingdom, Scream 7 most
Mhm.
recently, and then Fast 10.
Oh yeah, Fast 10.
Fast 10, I remember like, dude, I was at this might have to be on Patreon. I was at a Universal staff screening for Fast 10. People were like, oh no. They were like, this is crazy. And not in a good way. Not
Yeah.
in a good way. I can imagine the people at Disney, like at their own company screen, saw this. I mean, they might have just been like, it's fun. It's a fun family movie or whatever. But I can't imagine someone was there that was like, yep, this was the one. This is it.
Well, you know what? I just thought of something else. Toys.
That too. Yeah, Grogu, animatronic Grogu would be really nice in my house right now. It would definitely keep my spirits up because I needed the most right now, folks.
So I think once you add the merchandising in there, there's plenty of reasons why he did this. But with that being said, I think that watching this and you look at you look from a merchandising standpoint, it's just like, okay, but they didn't really add anything to the merchandising that would, look at this movie, you'd be like, oh, there's a new character. There's, it's like, but why? Like Rada the Hutt, maybe, so you're getting a jacked up Hutt. It's like, but that doesn't even.
And also, I don't know if it's Jeremy. I don't think it's Jeremy Allen White's fault. I see him getting some hate online. This is clearly the direction he either received from Jon Favreau or he was just told to read the lines as he interpreted them and just sent that shit in. Because one, his audio was terrible. It sounded like he recorded the shit in a phone booth. Two, you couldn't really tell it was Jeremy Allen White. The only reason why I knew is because I knew the casting. Like if you just told some regular schmegger person, like, oh, that's the nigga from The Bear, right? Like they'd be like, what? Because they also distort his voice to make him sound like a Hutt.
Yeah.
And so it's like that performance was so odd to me. And then again, the CGI is inconsistent. And I just got frustrated just because, to your point about toys, ironically, just saw the last trailer for Toy Story 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
It made me laugh several times, which I was not expecting. And the story makes sense, actually. Because we talked about how would they continue the story? And it's like, oh, what does happen to toys that are loved by their owner, but the owner is forced to embrace technology instead of playing actively with toys? Like, I'm like, that's an incredible plot. Like that makes sense as to why you would like risk your biggest property. Yeah. And I'm like, Star Wars, Jon Favreau directed it and co-wrote it. Dave Filoni, who again is the Kevin Feige of Star Wars, also co-wrote this movie. So that means they signed off on their own work. Yeah. You are the niggas running the thing. Like you can greenlight yourself, and this is what you chose to do as a film. Again, to me, like it's feeling more and more like an contractual obligation thing to do something. It's like, hey, how can we like make a lot of extra money, maybe, or something at least like bring back the grace of theatrical to the Star Wars brand.
Yeah,
and it's very misguided. I mean, it's still making a lot of money. As of this recording, this movie has made hundreds of millions of dollars, even though 181.4 did have a budget of 165 million though, so still got like
not a huge bump. It's just
it's got to double that. It's got to double that in order to cover marketing costs too.
What's crazy is the fact that it's like, this made only 181 on $165 million budget. It's like it's only made close to $20 million. That's not a lot.
yeah, true. And also, I mean, again, folks, you were not even taking into account to the marketing costs, which, based on like the fact that they started marketing this over a year ago, was probably even more than double the budget, if not. Yeah, it's insane. But also, that horror movie Obsession, we're going to be reviewing soon on the show. Mm-hmm. It made 100% of its budget back. Like that's in like this potentially Obsession as of this recording might actually beat Mandalorian and Grogu at the box office this weekend. Yeah. Like the word of mouth is not strong on this one because I think a lot of people are like, you can just wait for Disney Plus. It's going to fit right in.
Well, but then also the fact is like, oh, we haven't really been that excited about Star Wars for a minute. It's like, what about this movie gets a casual fan out of his house and into the movie theaters? Like what was built around this film to make to drum up excitement? And I don't think that was done very well. So
And that's thank you for circling me back to the comment I was going to make on John Favreau and Dave Filoni greenlighting themselves on this. They have the ability to push the envelope to do a lot of new shit because who's going to stop them?
yeah,
Like I hate, and I hate to do like the whole white guy thing, but like this is like a mediocre. This is what people say when they say like mediocre white people. Like
Mhm.
John Favreau is a talented director, right? Dave Filoni, I've had mixed experiences watching his Star Wars stuff, but like I know a lot of people love Clone Wars and things like that. And I'm like, sure, got it. He knows the characters really well. Why didn't he do anything new? Why didn't he like, or at least explore more about the Mandalorian? Maybe there's a civil war finally with the Mandalorians, or maybe we learn more about the Yoda creatures. Like it felt like just such a lost opportunity. But the fact that it's greenlit and ran by the people that are running the Star Wars universe, it's like if Kevin Feige directed and wrote a movie for Marvel
yeah,
and it did nothing for the narrative. It was just a one-off story. You'd be like, "What? That's random use for Kevin Feige." You know what I mean? Like even yeah, like there's so many TV shows that have been adapted. Like even South Park the movie, right? The characters are still the same at the end, but it pushed the envelope. It did some wild shit because they
well,
could finally swear,
yep,
right? But then also they were just like, "Hey, MPAA, what are the limits to not getting NC-17?" And basically like follow that like right to the line with everything they did.
was that not NC-17?
They dude, they actually changed the story to start shitting on the MPAA. Like they had a different story, and the MPAA kept giving it NC-17, and they just kept changing the story where it just started shitting on and like saying fuck ratings and stuff. It was
Yeah,
wild because they were all talking about how like it's about swearing and sex, but you can
yeah,
have all the gun violence in the world, and like that could keep you at a
yeah.
PG-13. Which this movie actually had. There's a Darth Saber. There's a dark saber in the Mandalorian series, so they could have had lightsabers. It's just all laser gunfights
Wait,
and
there's a
shit.
dark saver.
Yeah, Giancarlo Esposito's character had it for a little bit, and now Catan, what's her name? She has it. The leader, like the Mandalorians, now has it.
Okay.
But the Mandalorian had it for a minute and stuff. So it's like they could have done some cool shit with that. I don't know, man. The whole time I'm like, just squander opportunity. The only new thing they did was have Martin Scorsese as an alien, which was so random.
Who?
The one that was like with the forearms and shit, like the little monkey dude who's all nervous
Oh, yeah,
talking,
yeah, yeah.
the informant.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's Martin Scorsese.
Who cares?
It's funny. I do think it's funny though, because he's like 80, that he's
Yeah.
starting to act more. Like he was in the studio as himself. Did you see that episode?
No,
When
I
he thought
didn't.
he was gonna it's so sad because like Seth Rogen plays a studio exec, right? Like he
Mhm,
runs the studio. So Martin Scorsese wants to do this like movie about like this cult leader, the cult leader with the Kool-Aid.
yeah,
Jamestown? Is that what his name?
yeah, 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 something like
Something
that.
like that, right?
Yeah,
And but then they're they're trying to like flip it into another movie because they're trying to make a Kool-Aid Man movie. It's a whole thing, right? Because basically they have to kill Martin Scorsese's movie because they all killed themselves with Kool-Aid because
yeah,
they're making a kids-friendly Kool-Aid
yeah.
movie, right? So then he has to tell Martin Scorsese that he's killing the movie, and then Martin Scorsese just starts crying, and all these stars like, how the fuck did you make Martin Scorsese cry? And Seth Rogen's just like, just starts running away and shit. It's funnier than this movie. It's way more entertaining than this movie. I'm
Well,
sorry, everybody. I know I feel like I sound like a hater, but I just was like, what the fuck? I love
well,
Star Wars.
yeah,
I
and that's the
loved.
thing, like, when something starts to fall off, and it starts to fall off as hard as, I will, and again, because I haven't been, deep in the TV shows,
Yeah,
like, I don't feel it as much as you do. You know what I'm saying? Because I
true.
haven't watched a
Yeah,
Star
yeah.
Wars movie in 7 years.
Yeah, you don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this at casual, but like I could also see just watching it, it's just like, I wonder what the shows are like. But now I gave you several scenarios on how this movie could have been made and why, the whys behind it. Or
Yeah,
maybe this is just like, hey, we just put out a movie, and then people who haven't watched the show, they'll start watching the show because they're just like, hey, I want a more backstory on Grogu and the Mandalorian, stuff like that. Maybe it's just a vessel for the show, but at the same time, it's just like, it didn't get me to go watch the show. You know what I'm saying? It didn't excite me to watch the show. If you're going to do that, you need to make a movie that's doing some wild shit, or that's really enticing people to want to go and see more.
Yeah, because even those little creatures that like help Grogu get the Mandalorian, I forgot what they're called.
I don't know what the fuck they're called.
Anzellans or something like that. Like, they have the little fighter hats and shit like that. They're mad cute. Like, and they were like, man, and stuff. That was fun, but then I was like, I thought those were new characters, and then I watched the last half of the season 3. I'm like, oh, they're in these episodes.
Yeah,
they might have been early episodes. I just missed it, but I was just like, oh, those weren't even new.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I hate wasted opportunities like this. I hate wasted talent, and the only one that actually like just did their A game and was like, probably because they love fucking Star Wars and they already do the theme for the Disney Plus logo and everything, was Ludwig Göransson, which at this point, with all the Oscars he's won with the Ryan Coogler movies and doing Christopher Nolan stuff, this nigga either is like the new John Williams of his time, or I'm not saying he is, folks. He's the biggest fraud in the world, because I don't know how you do all this. But I mean, composers, I guess you only work on a movie for like maybe a month or something like that, and that's it. But his score was dope in this movie. I remember you and I were like, yo, it's like giving like Blade Runner vibes.
Yeah. Very much so.
Which that would have been dope. Go dark like that. Like, this series, I think tonally never like figured it out between Grogu and Mandalorian, because the Mandalorian's so deadpan and serious, and Grogu's supposed to be so cutesy. But at the same time, Grogu's story is very dark. The first episode, you don't even know this. The first episode is the Mandalorian being hired to kill Grogu. He doesn't know that Grogu's a baby Yoda thing, but when he sees it, he's like, I'm not going to kill. Like, that's when they start their bond, right?
Yeah.
That's how the fucking series starts. So it doesn't start on like a happy meet cute with these two. You know what I mean? And so it's like, you have
nice if we're
and you have like, bro, you really had the opportunity, if you wanted to just have a wild one-off where it's like kind of crazy, just either do what I've heard that they did with the recent Punisher one-off, or you do John Wick in space. You have one of them trying to find the other and just fucking up people on the way doing it. You can easily like you could have like Sigourney Weaver's character be someone who actually betrays him, right? Or a character we've gotten to know over the series betrays Mando. Like, I mean, I know Carl Weathers passed away, but Carl Weathers had a pretty big role in the series, and he also directed a few episodes. Like, that character could have been like someone who betrayed him. Like, that could be cool. But it's that they did the most basic. This is like this is brainstorm session 1 plot. Like, all these guys got in a room and we're like fucking around, probably smoked a joint, and we're like, all right, what are we gonna do with Mandalorian and Grogu on the big screen? And they just started coming up with plot points, not realizing that they literally picked plots from previous episodes they've already done.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's it, guys. We did it. High five. John Farrell's like, I'm gonna go swim in my pool of money now.
Yeah, right.
Because he gets a cut from the Avengers movies.
Yeah.
Because he's the nigga that kicked it off. That's crazy. I had no idea.
Good for him.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. You're the guy that kicks off the MCU.
Yep.
And your people work out that deal. I can't get mad at you. But again, dude, that means he has so much power. He has the power that you don't even know about. If you do not think about Jon Favreau and his career and like the projects he's been involved in, it's easier for you to be like, oh yeah, like that's Happy Hogan from the Spider-Man movies, right?
Yeah.
But when you think about it now, especially in regards to Star Wars IP and the fact that Kathleen Kennedy is no longer there, or no longer going to be there as of this recording, I think Jon Favreau is not only that nigga at Disney and for Star Wars. Obviously, Dave Filoni's there too, but he has a lot of clout. He has a lot of clout between helping kick off the MCU. Most of his movies do very, very well financially.
Mm-hmm.
I get frustrated. Like, when you have that kind of power, you can do all the shit.
Yeah,
and this is what you
chose
to
money,
do.
bro. He's printed money for fucking almost 2 decades now.
Yeah, like James. Like, this is what like the only reason why I'm still optimistic about whatever James Gunn might be able to still do at the DC Warner Brothers stuff, because for me, I would not think that the follow-up movie for our universe from Superman would be fucking Clayface. Now, will the movie be good? Hopefully, but that's a huge swing. You know
Yo,
what I
yeah,
mean?
it is. It is. Because,
So
I mean,
yeah.
well, the downside, and just, I don't want to get too deep into that, but it's just like they said that because that sounded a little Sony to me.
I mean, we have to also see how Lanterns does, the TV show with Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre as
Yes,
well.
yes.
That's going to be interesting because
But when you're making movies about villains without the the character that makes that villain relevant, it's sounding kind of Sony to me.
well, it's got to be more Joker than fucking Morbius, right? That's what they have to do with that.
Yeah, but even so, it still sounds very Sony. So it's like this could go
Well,
bad,
that's if it's connected because this could be an Elseworld thing. I think it possibly isn't connected to whatever they're planning to do with their Batman.
but still, it's sounding very Sony. It's I mean because it's been done before, and we all hated it.
Yeah.
We all hated it. So like, yeah, okay, they could give us something cool, but also this could just be a really bad idea. Because Sony's tried it and they failed miserably.
Yeah.
Derailed their entire universe, whatever the fuck they were trying to do.
They did it twice.
Yeah.
They did it twice. They did it with Andrew Garfield, and then they did it with the Tom Holland Spider-Man stuff, which means they had to pay out so many people. Yo, good for those actors. That means Jamie Foxx probably got paid multiple times playing Electro or being booked to play Electro.
Yeah, and he should never have been paid anything for playing Electro. That motherfucker
He wasn't bad in No Way Home.
Yeah, he wasn't bad in No Way Home, but
he had a better script and a better creative team and a better
yeah. Yeah, they should have gave that for that first for what the Amazing Spider-Man 2. This nigga should have been given bubble gum and a fucking pat on the back.
What?
Yeah, they should. Here,
was he in 1932?
Get the fuck on out of here, the yard boy. Get out.
And man, you working on a movie for months. You have to be hours of makeup. You just get a pack of gum and a pedal.
Yo, it shit was terrible. Well, actually, no. I'm gonna say the movie wasn't terrible because they did have some decent stuff in there.
No, it was terrible.
He was terrible in that.
It was all terrible. All right, Justin, are there any letterbox reviews on the Mandalorian and Grogu we should read?
Yeah, we got some shit here. All right, up first we have Mitch. Mitch says, "Fuck you, Filoni, and your stupid cowboy hat." 1.5 stars. Okay, we're coming in hot. Up next, we've got Jay. It's impossible to spoil this film because nothing interesting or important happens. Ooh, 2 stars. Oh, up next, we have Mac. Mac says, did Jeremy Allen White give his performance over voicemail? Shit, 3 stars. Up next, we have Griffin Newman. Griffin says, this isn't the way. No stars were given on that one. Up next, we have Frames of Nick. They say they need to do Grogu like one of them tiny birds you eat with the cloth over your head to shield yourself from God. Jesus fucking Christ.
What?
1.5 stars.
What does that even mean?
This basically, they need to kill this nigga off.
It's a dark poetic way to say that.
They're like, kill this nigga off and off camera because no one needs to see it.
Kill like Bambi's mom. You just hear the bang.
You hear the bang and you see the body. That's it, baby.
You know what the worst thing I think about Bambi from a parent perspective, watching it when you're a child? It's not like it's not clear enough. Like as an adult, you know what it means when you hear the bang and the birds and like the silence and stuff. You as an adult know Bambi's mama dead. She gone, right? But your kid is like, I think I know what this means. But mom or dad? Is Bambi's mom dead? And then in the parent, you're like, fuck.
Well, you know what? It's funny now that the kids, Jackson 7, Axel's 4, like they know what death is.
Right.
No, they know what death is.
Like, what'd you say?
No, they know what death is.
Okay, because we told them, or
no, I don't know where they figured it out. I was like, oh, that character's dead. Like,
well, I mean, maybe. What if in one of their finish trips, some old nigga popped out of the woods looking like Santa Claus? It was like, let me tell you about death.
What?
Like Silent Night, Deadly Night, or some shit.
Gather round, kids. Let's learn about death. Ketos.
Did you ask them?
No, but it was just like, it was very, very matter of fact.
Mm.
But you know what? I also think because they were watching Dragon Ball Z. So I think maybe that was it, is like, because people die in Dragon Ball Z. It's just like, oh no, that character, he's dead now. But he came back and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, it's just interesting. Because for Jackson at 7, I'm just like, all right, I could see that. But when Axel was kind of just like, is like, yeah, he's dead, and just like, whatever. I was just like,
maybe the older brother told him. Maybe Jackson was like, let me tell you about death. It's when you go away after you've been killed, and then the soul haunts the person that took away their life. And then Axel's just like, I understand. Haunting. You had me at haunting.
Axel is evil.
Because you said Axel's like the mischievous one, right?
Yes, he is. Axel drives me fucking nuts right
Why
now.
do you say it like that?
No, because
what's the thing that he does that drives you crazy, but you also like, that's my fucking kid? You know what I mean? Like, it makes you lose your shit, but you're like, but I fucking love this kid,
bro, you tell him like, Axel, stop doing something, or or you give him a direction or whatever, and then he'll be like, okay, and then you just see him dancing.
Does he do the task, or he just dances?
Huh? No.
Does he do the
he's just somewhere. You look over, you look away, you look back, and he's just standing there dancing. But he's like, almost like he's whining his hips and shit like that. I'm like, Axel, stop. And a lot of times he gets out of the shower, he dries himself off, and then all of a sudden you just randomly see him naked and just dancing somewhere. I'm like, it's like, Axel, stop. Get your ass. Put lotion on your body.
Dude, that's your son. Because that's some shit you would do. Just be randomly dancing.
Oh God,
so funny.
It's wild. Hold on, we have one more letterbox review. This is from Kez. Kez says, if anything happens to Grogu, I will kill everyone in this room and then myself. This is the way. 3 stars. Okay, well, that person just signed a suicide pact.
And also, whoever's in that room with this person, get the fuck out of that room. Because he's just like, in this room, like, what are you talking about? Are you in a library?
Kez, you need help.
That's wild.
Medium popcorn.
What is up, little business sun-dried tomatoes? Before we get to our ratings on The Mandalorian and Grogu, I want to share some Patriot thoughts on the film itself. And remember, when you sign up at Patreon at patreon.com/mediumpopcorn, you're guaranteed to have your thoughts and reviews of that movie we're talking about read on that episode. So first up, we have Darren Patterson, who wrote, more like the Mandalorian and Grogu. Am I right, people? A majority of the internet. Then Sean Simmons wrote, The Mandalorian and Grogu is not a bad film. I didn't feel it was necessary either. It felt like, hey, let's rehash the Clone Wars movie, make a live action with some New Hope and Return of the Jedi bits, and a few twists. It was one mission with an obvious double cross that stretched out way too long over 2 hours. There's a sharper 90-minute version of this. Or it could have been a Disney Plus 3-episode Mandalorian event. I'm glad Sigourney Weaver got some action towards the end, because up to that point, she felt wasted. The only bright spot for me was seeing Zeb for an extended time. But if you were very base level Star Wars and have no idea about Star Wars Rebels, you wouldn't know or care. A casual viewer could watch this without doing any horror beforehand, something they probably should have promoted. I really would have put a different story in this release spot and saved the Mando movie to include the Rebels crew, Thrawn, and Ahsoka to wrap up that story. Coming out of this, I'm ready for Grogu to move on. Again, not a bad movie. I get why the audience score is what it is. Lots of folks in my theater had a good time. They responded well to comedic moments. Shout out to Dave Filoni getting his 2 cameos in. Cowboy hat and all. Small popcorn for me. All right, folks, those were our Patriot thoughts. Now let's get to our rating of The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Medium popcorn.
All right, well, Justin, break down our rating system, baby.
Stop calling me baby. Guys, you know how we do this. We rate movies, bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, and the XL. Or the exceptional. If a film is delivering a hot, buttery, delicious popcorn, we throw it into the stale popcorn pile. We pile piles and piles of stale popcorn on the top of it. So, Brandon, we sat down, we watched Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu, or titled The Mandalorian and Grogu, whatever. What say you, sir?
Yeah, I hate to do this to another Star Wars movie, but yeah, this gets 165 piles of stale popcorn. I did not enjoy this movie. I was stone-faced the whole time. I had 0 expectations in this movie the only good thing about it was Ludwig's score, and obviously Grogu's adorable, but he's adorable in the show. So I was just like, what was this for? It's such a waste, squandered opportunity, squandered money, squandered use of leverage to do something really. You're in the business of like creating movie making, and not even that. You're working with one of the most valuable IPs of all time. It's fucking space. It's fantasy. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You could have created a bunch of different. You could have created a bunch of different iterations of like a Grogu. Where like, if you want to sell toys, let's go balls to the wall with having the most adorable fucking animatronic toys possible. It's gonna be a fucking field day for us in Disney.
Yeah, you have an adorable off.
Yeah, like anything, man. And it, like I said, it didn't push the narratives forward, so you learn nothing new about these characters. It felt lazy. It felt like a blatant money grab if you know how the business works. I've heard so many people going with their kids who are like, "What?" And like, that's not what Star Wars was meant to be in the theater. Star Wars had such a huge impact on my movie going experience because between the re-releases, the prequel series, I remember, dude, that was like the bit. Like I had seen people hype like an opening night for like Independence Day, Batman Returns, things like that. Star Wars Episode One, Phantom Menace. I saw like, and like as someone who loves the movies and just wants to make movies, seeing like multiple theaters sold out around the same time, people lined up like in costume and all this stuff. And as a kid, I remember being like, "This is so fucking cool." And even with the movie being pretty much sucking, except the Darth Maul fight, the Darth Maul fight alone was worth it because that's one of the best fights in the series.
Yeah.
You know, I want that back. I want that back for the younger generation. I want that back for the people that have been invested. There's people that have been Star Wars fans way longer than I have. This shit came out in 1977.
Yeah. There's people who are long dead and gone that would love to see a continuation. Like, you know, they're what are their Force ghosts.
Yeah. I'm sure John Favreau's gotten one or two hate letters from someone who saw the 1977 screening of Star Wars, saw this shit, and was like, "You created an abomination. I'm coming for you, Mr. Favreau." Like things like that, you know. But I'm not saying that's right. I don't endorse that at all. But this is a very sacred IP to people. Like they want it to be like they want you to take swings. Like the people that actually like legit just care about the shit that don't have the fucking it's too diverse now. Fucking woke start like no, the people just genuinely love good storytelling in space and love seeing dope sci-fi shit. Like this wasn't it. I don't know who this is for, except for your pockets.
Yeah.
Justin, what's your rating?
So oh fuck, I had something to say and completely forgot something you said that but either way.
All the things you said, all the things you said, all the things you said, running through my head.
Oh, God.
You're trying to remember what you're saying. You got me over here singing fucking tutu or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, like holy shit, shut up. So you know, again, being someone who hasn't watched the show, I feel like I have a different a different feeling towards this. And with that said, I'm gonna give it a small. I felt like it was kind of thin. It was kind of paper thin. It didn't really go too deep. Which was, you know, in a way, I was like, all right, I mean, this is fine, but like, if you're gonna be paper thin, you should go bigger. You know, you should have bigger action scenes. You know, you should, you know, show us. You have to, you know, like you said, have a little, you know, have more balls and do something that's gonna shake it up or tell some, you know, a story that's really gonna mean something to the main arc that's happening in the TV shows, which, you know, like as you're saying, this is definitely not it. So then it does come off as very just, you know, this is a money grab, you know, which, you know, is Hollywood at this point. But, you know, but at the same time, if you're critically looking at this, it's small.
Yeah. And what I worry most about what's coming next, Starfighter, I'm worried that because that stars Ryan Gosling and I think a predominantly white cast, that it's going to show regression in the Star Wars universe too, right? Because in the sequel series movies, it was very diverse compared to the original, right?
Yeah.
And now it's like, hey, just revert back to like all the white casts and stuff and the leading white guys and stuff like that. I worry about the regression too theatrically for Star Wars. It's a whole fucking thing. Because I think instead of supporting, like being like, oh yeah, we should be better to our talent like John Boyega and other people that have been in the series, it's like, oh no, let's just avoid controversy at all costs.
Yeah, they're just like, fuck them niggas.
they didn't say that. That's the views of Justin Brown. The comments of Justin Brown do not reflect the views of Medium Popcorn, even though that's not how podcasts work. As always, folks, you can follow the show at Medium P Podcast on all social media platforms. You can follow me personally at Fro_Blackens, FrodoBlackens.com for show dates and all kinds of stuff, including Drunk Black History shows. And also, in regards to Medium Popcorn, MediumPopcorn.com for all your Medium Popcorn needs. Be sure to go to YouTube.com/Medium P Podcast and push that subscribe button. So, you get alert about all future reviews and celebrity interviews we have on the show. And also, Justin, if you want to support the show financially as well as follow you, what can they do, my brother?
Well, first of all, you go to Patreon. You go to patreon.com/Medium Popcorn. We have $2, $5, $10, and $15 packages there. Our entire backlog lives on Patreon. So if you don't know, now you know. Patreon.com/Medium Popcorn. And also, guys, come and check me out. Jay Brown did it on all the social media platforms.
Go and check them out, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Watch his conspiracy theory videos.
Yep.
All right, y'all. We'll talk to y'all soon. Love you. Bye.
Me.
Medium Popcorn. We are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins. That's me. And Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium Popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your